If you have your own creepy story, I'm waiting for your email. All the information under the video. Thank you for watching. Please, press like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so first, we've obviously moved out. We moved about a year ago and I've never been happier. The household consisted me, 14F, and my mama, 46F, and my dad sometimes. He doesn't live with us yet, but he will be soon. We moved into the apartment and lived there for about 6 months. For a few years, the landlord, an older man, and his wife were pretty okay. The downstairs was a shop of sorts, so we saw them often. However, year 3 was when they started to be rude, getting upset over minor stuff, such as the outer door rotting was not our fault. The house was falling apart, and he refused to fix anything. Other than the sink. I don't know which one. At one point in the winter, the front door broke, and our house was freezing because the heater was working fast enough to block out the cold. In my bedroom above my bed, the roof was sagging down. It would leak when it rained. Because my room was small, I couldn't move my bed anywhere else without obstructing my door. Onto the camera. I was using the bathroom, and you know when you get bored on the toilet and you don't have your phone, so you're just kind of stuck looking around? That was essentially what was going on. To the right was the sink, and it was rectangular, so the bottom had storage. There was an inch or so of space between the ground and the storage part. Our ground in the room was covered by fake tiling, and it was starting to come up there. There were 2 small holes in the tiling, which I had never thought anything of until I was looking at it. From the angle, I thought it looked like something was in it, so I started to peel back the tiling and saw something black. I had been watching TikTok a bit before and had seen those horror stories of finding a camera in their hotel rooms and stuff, so I thought I'd check on the off chance it was. I grabbed my phone and shined the light at the holes, and started freaking out because the bigger hole actually looked like there was a camera lens. So of course I ran to my mom, at midnight, and told her about the camera. She sighed and said it probably was wiring or something, and she'd have Dad check it tomorrow when he came up for dinner. Well, when he did, he fully peeled back the tiling at that area, and sure enough, there was a camera. Of course, we checked the rest of the house, and there weren't any others. That we found, at least. My dad brought the camera to his cousin who was a cop, and they looked into it. Apparently, it was one that you could connect to your phone and watch where it was set up. He said that based off everything, I don't know what, it looked like it hadn't worked for about a year or so. However, he found that it was bought at 2018, which was about when we moved in. My parents wanted to press charge, but because of everything, we never did. Well, my mom capped him, at least I think that's how that's spelled. The thing where you can see any criminal history. She found that he'd previously been charged for 3 counts of sexual assault of a minor and sexual harassment of a woman. I don't entirely remember why, but I guess the charges were either dropped or lessened. So for 6 years of my life, me and my mother lived in that house, being watched for at least 5 years. Our bathroom was small, so where the camera was placed was a perfect spot to see us getting undressed if we were showering or changing. Not to mention if we were wearing a dress or skirt. Every time I think about it, I feel so violated. Not to mention that he had a ladder to the room right next to my bedroom windows, and unlike my mom, I didn't have any curtains because the rods were broken for the first 3 years. I feel so grossed out that we were being watched without knowing, especially in such a vulnerable spot. It's not even like the camera was in a spot that could possibly be justified either. So to all those who are renting, please be careful. You never know who's watching you. Even if you think you're safe, you never know. Reddit story 2. My name is Sarah, 12F, and I had an experience that still creeps me out today. I had just gotten my braces off and the dentist was removing the glue from my teeth. As he worked, he started humming an eerie tune that made me feel uneasy. Then he suddenly paused and stared at my canines with an unsettling intensity. "You have such unique teeth," he said, his voice oddly soft. "But they're a bit sharp for a young lady, don't you think?" I didn't know how to respond, so I just sat there, nervously. Without warning, he began grinding down my canines. I tried to protest, but he hushed me with a sinister smile. "Trust me, he whispered, leaning in uncomfortably close. "You'll look much prettier this way. Boys will like you more." When he finished, he held up a mirror and I saw that my once sharp canines were now rounded. I had always liked my sharp canines, but now they were gone. The dentist, still smiling that unsettling smile, said, "They're much better. More feminine." He didn't ask for my permission. He just did it. I went home that day and cried. I didn't know how to tell my parents, so I didn't. It was only much later that I told them. But by then, it was too late to do anything about it. I was 12, so I don't blame myself, but I wish I had stood up for myself. At school, I was a pretty average kid. I enjoyed reading, hanging out with my friends, and playing soccer. I wasn't particularly popular, but I had a close-knit group of friends who I trusted. We spent our weekends at each other's houses, watching movies, and trying out new baking recipes. My best friend Emily noticed something was off as soon as the letters started arriving. A few months after the dental incident, I started getting anonymous letters. At first, they seemed harmless, filled with compliments about my appearance, especially my smile. But soon, the letters got creepy, mentioning details about my life that only someone close to me would know. They mentioned the books I was reading, the games I played with my friends, and even specific conversations I had with Emily. One evening, I found a small package on my doorstep. Inside was a necklace with a tooth pendant, one that looked exactly like my old sharp canines. There was a note that said, "I miss your old smile, don't you?" I felt sick. Someone had been watching me closely. The stalker's presence became more invasive over time. I'd catch glimpses of a shadowy figure outside my window at night and often felt like I was being followed. My anxiety skyrocketed, and I started losing sleep. I became paranoid, constantly looking over my shoulder and avoiding places where I might be alone. One night, as I lay in bed, I heard a faint scratching sound at my bedroom window. My heart pounded as I peeked through the blinds. There, standing in the shadows, was a figure holding up a mirror reflecting my new, rounded canines. Written in lipstick beneath the reflection were the words, "I preferred the old you." Terrified, I ran to my parents' room and finally told them everything. They called the police, but by the time they arrived, the stalker was gone. The investigation revealed that the letters and package had all been sent from an area near the dentist's office. It turned out the dentist had been stalking me ever since he altered my teeth. He was obsessed with his own twisted idea of beauty and believed he had the right to shape my appearance to his liking. He was arrested, and I finally felt some sense of safety return to my life. Even though he was gone, the incident left deep scars. I still check my windows at night and avoid going out alone. The experience taught me the importance of standing up for myself and being aware of the disturbing lengths some people will go to control others. I hope sharing my story helps others recognize the signs of obsession and encourages them to speak out before it's too late.